Take a breath. Welcome to Space to Exhale, the podcast, weekly inspiration for self-love and soft living. I am your host, Lisa Hurley. I'm a 3-time Anthem Award winner, Reiki Master, and community builder. And I'm the author of the book Space to Exhale. Through healing modalities like breathwork, affirmations, and meditations, I'll guide you on a life-changing journey to help you know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and create much-needed space to exhale. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Space to Exhale, the podcast, a safe, serene sanctuary where we focus on high vibrations, affirmations, soft living, and self-care. I'm your host, Lisa Hurley. I'm the author of Space to Exhale, a handbook for curating a soft, centered, serene life. I'm here to help us all do just that. Relax, take a breath, say no to hustle culture, and yes to a life of ease. My hope and dream is for us all to curate lives that we don't feel we need a break from. Today, I'll be joined by a very special guest, my sister, Sharon Hurley Hall.
Hello.
Keep talking, sis, because I'm about to
last minute text Nafu. Welcome everybody. I'm so happy to be here again. This podcast is a bit like my second home these days. I've been here quite a few times, in spite of the teching and losing my camera 1 second before I came on. But we are here, and I am so excited to be here to support Lisa for the last episode of this epic 30 episode run of her new podcast, Space to Exhale.
Amazing, huh?
Wow.
Absolutely amazing, sis, and thank you so much for being here. Everybody, please excuse my voice. My my ongoing cough has come back, of course, as it normally does, just in time for the episode. But here we are. So, for those of you who don't know Sharon, she is an author, educator, and anti-racism activist, a former journalist and writer. She's also the author of I'm Tired of Racism. And she is the founder of Sharon's anti-racism newsletter, where she's on a mission to fight racism one article at a time. She's also the founder of the Share Anti-Racism membership community. In what passes for her spare time, she provides mentoring, right? Which I don't know. I think you need to rewrite this bio because there is no spare time. In what passes for her spare time, well written, Sharon provides mentoring to help introverted founders, leaders, and creatives share their stories to create impact without exhaustion. So that's who is here, my sister and this amazing human being. And those of you who have been here for all 30 amazing episodes, you already know what's about to happen. Those of you who are new here, this show is called Space to Exhale, and we start every episode by doing just that. We exhale together. And so let us, we're just going to do a few breaths and get ourselves grounded. So join Sharon and me as we close our eyes. And hopefully I get my throat back. Let's close our eyes, relax our shoulders, relax those micro muscles around your eyes, your forehead. Swing your head just very gently from side to side, left to right. And now let's inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And one more time, inhale And exhale. Ah, yes. Feeling much more grounded already. And we also, in addition to taking a moment to exhale and breathe and get grounded together, something that we also do at the top of each show is start with an affirmation to ground us in what we're going to focus on. And so it's Thanksgiving week, right? This air date is 11/25/2025. So we're at 2 days before Thanksgiving, and we're in a spirit of thankfulness and gratitude. And so today's affirmation, unsurprisingly, is I am grateful. So as Sharon and I go through the episode, and as you go through it with us, we're on a journey together to think about being grateful, think about thankfulness, think about what you have to be grateful for, and just get into the mood of the week and the season. So just remember this, today's affirmation, I am grateful. And so, sis, it is, whew, it is your,
Blessings abound.
sorry?
I said blessings abound.
Blessings abound. As you mentioned earlier, this is like your fifth time on the show, so it definitely is your second home. And I definitely consider you part of like the heartbeat of the show. Like, and what a lot of people might not know is the show might not exist in this form without you. Because when I was like a couple of weeks before launching, the publication of my book on June 17th this year, and I deliberately put in the book that I have a podcast because I was like, if I don't put it in the book,
it's never going to happen.
Right. So I put it in the book, and then I'm like, all right, I have to make good on my promise. And I didn't know how to start it, although I've done multiple podcasts. And you were like, oh, just do a LinkedIn Live series and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
Like,
just.
Pardon me?
I said, like, yeah, just do a LinkedIn Live series.
Just do a LinkedIn Live series. And now here we are, 30 episodes later, and thinking about things to be grateful for. Grateful to you for the idea to do it this way and for all of your support, behind the scenes and in front of the camera, because like I said, you have been one of my pinch hitter guests multiple times,
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. And thank you to every single guest, everybody who has shown up, everybody who has supported, everybody who has watched and listened and reviewed and said positive things. I am truly grateful. Yeah.
So much gratitude. To the people that turn up every time. We have a LinkedIn user. I don't know who that is. I'm guessing who it is, but I don't know who it is. Who is putting all the links in the chat? Thank you.
Who do you think it is? I'm just interested.
I think it's Latrice.
Oh yeah. Quite likely. Quite likely.
I think it's Latrice, but
yes.
Or it might be Kristen. It is Kristen.
Thank you,
all
Kristen.
Right, very good, and thank you. So very, very happy to see all of you there. LinkedIn is doing the least as usual and not telling me who anybody is, but we're still grateful.
We're still grateful. Yes. And so, sis, in this season of your life, we're both women of a certain age, right?
Tell me.
So how do you define gratitude now in this season of your life?
Oh, that is such a great question, sis, because it is more, I think, than it has been. Do you know what I mean? It's deeper. It is an understanding that sometimes even the things that you are not sure are working in your favor are there for you. Yes. And so there are things that, that might upset you on one level, but are also teaching you valuable lessons. So I really think that it is, I don't know that I can define it, but I definitely feel it in a different way. What about you?
I think like you, I I define it the same, but feel it differently.
Yeah.
Feel it more deeply. Um, and I'm more grateful for small things, if that makes sense. We're kind
Yeah.
of trained to be grateful for big achievements,
Mm-hmm.
the big, high, top of Mount Everest moments in life. But I'm grateful, which you should be grateful for, and we'll get to those. But I'm
Yes.
also grateful for right now, as you know, I am recuperating from major surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that I'm recuperating. I'm grateful that I am with my family. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here with my dad and stepmom, honestly living in the lap of luxury. You know, they don't let me do nothing. I am being treated like a princess, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And grateful for my surgeon, grateful to be in a strong, positive frame of mind. Grateful for all my
Yes.
support. Yeah.
Yes. And gratitude for, speaking of that, I mean, I'm also very grateful that it has all gone well. And I'm grateful for all the many people I know who have been going through things recently who have had positive results. Right?
Mhm.
I am
Yes. Same.
grateful. I am grateful for the continued presence even of those who are struggling, right?
Yes. Yes.
As well, because that is not a foregone conclusion.
Hmm.
Um, Grateful for my friend Suan, who has stopped in to listen into the show and is always grateful. I
Yeah.
remember, I want to mention this specifically because I remember Suan as being the person that was always positive and thankful on Twitter. That was how she came to my attention. She was out there thanking people for every little thing and
Hmm.
really bringing us the spirit of positivity and joy before it became what it is now. And, really making it a great experience for anybody that happened to be in her circle. So grateful also for that. Hi, Eugenia. Nice to see you as well. So, grateful for all the people that continue to show up for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Grateful to be here.
speaking of people showing up for us, you and I are in the midst of what I would call a winning season, right?
We are in a winning season.
We are in a winning season, and it was, I don't know, like last, where are we today? So today's Tuesday. So last Sunday or something, I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah.
On Sunday, I woke up to the news that you and I are
Mm-hmm.
both finalists in the American Writing Awards.
Yes. 2025.
2025.
2025.
So tell me how you felt, because the backstory is I called you. I knew you might not pick up because
Yeah.
I knew that you were busy at that time. I called you, didn't pick up as expected, and then I basically was like, I texted you and said, you have to call me.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it was, it is so lovely when your work gets recognized. So my category was nonfiction multicultural. I can't
Mhm.
remember what yours was.
Mine, I was blessed to be a finalist in two categories. So best debut,
Yeah.
so finalist in that category, and also in general nonfiction.
Yes. So, it was great. And I mean, I published that book in 2022. So we're nearly 3 years in.
Mhm.
And for it to still be out there getting recognition and awards and making a difference to people really means the world
Yes.
to me.
Yeah,
Right. And,
absolutely.
it is just amazing. It is just amazing. And I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yes.
you so much. But then, as if that were not enough, and let's not forget, this came for me on the back of having been nominated to the Restorative People Leaders Watch List last month, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then for you, I was in the comments when Lisa was playing the intro, saying, "Well, you're gonna have to amend that 3 times Anthem Award winner thing because."
I am now a 5-time Anthem Award winner. I know.
Yay!
And I'm
Scrubbing
grateful
hands,
for
scrubbing
that.
hands. Yeah.
Yes. I'm grateful for that, for my beautiful book that I adore.
Yes.
But I'm grateful on many levels. But the one, I think the award that means the most of the two is actually the Anthem Community Voice Award, because people
Yes.
voted. I can't can't even really choose, to be honest, because on the one hand, the bronze award was selected by the judges. So the judges had to vote on that, which means a lot
Yes.
because these are
But
people
the
who are expert.
community, though, the community recognizing
Yes,
what you're putting in, I mean, it really validates all the work that
yes.
you have done over many, many years,
Yeah,
you
just
know?
absolutely amazing. And like you never know who is looking and listening and in your corner and supporting. And so to know that people took the time out to vote. And as you and I both know, the voting process was not easy. So, but that's, another
Mhm.
topic for another time.
Yes.
But so people really took time to do it. And,
Yeah.
it really makes such a huge
No,
difference,
it is great. It is great.
so.
I love that, your community came through for you,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
You know, yeah. So
Absolutely
well
amazing.
deserved,
Thank you.
you
Thank
know.
you. You too. I'm
I
glad
keep telling
because
people, I keep telling people this is a great book, and they may probably take it with a pinch of salt because I'm your sister. But what they also have to recognize is that I am an ex-journalist and journalism tutor. I've been writing for 4 decades myself,
mhm,
so
mhm.
I can tell when a book is good,
Oh, thank you, Chris.
right?
Chris. Well, I told you after you had read it, and there are a few people whose opinions I value very highly. You're one of them. So I was like, if it passes the Sharon test, I am happy. You know. So yeah, just grateful for those things, big and small, things that are visible in the world, things that are private, all the things.
Mhm.
So in Space Exhale, as you know, I do talk a lot about gratitude and appreciation. It's something that a tenet by which I live my life, right?
Mhm.
And I talk about appreciation as being something active, something that needs to be practiced, not just spoken about. It's not
Yes.
just an idea. I believe in verbs. So
Mhm.
as and I know you do too. So what does appreciation as a practice look like to you?
Appreciation as a practice looks like taking the time to let people know that they are appreciated as a start. It
Mm-hmm.
never hurts to drop a kind word in somebody's, messaging thread, in somebody's inbox, in somebody's email, to it looks also like starting from that perspective really of what there is to appreciate.
Mm.
You know, in my work, it also looks like lifting other people up. That's why I have an interview series to profile Black founders and activists, right?
Mm-hmm.
To look at people who are doing good things and bring them to a wider audience, right? It looks like it's funny this week, as you know, the Share anti-racism community has a reparations practice, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is that a percentage of the membership income goes into a micro reparations fund and is disbursed at
Love.
intervals. And so this month, we had a slightly bigger fund. It was annual renewal time. We had a slightly bigger fund than usual, and
Mm-hmm.
so we were able to support 4 people. And people said, "Well, how did I get chosen?" I said, "Well, people in the community saw your work and appreciated your voice and nominated you." And we keep it
Oh,
really simple.
yeah,
We
yeah.
keep it really simple. I mean, that's not, there's no hoops anybody has to go through. We don't make
Mm-hmm.
it complicated. That is that is what, and so for me, that embeds appreciation as a practice into the DNA of the Share community as
I love
well.
that. I love that because you're teaching by example, basically.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is one of the best ways. So let's just be honest, right? Because we're all human, and sometimes life be life, and there are times when it is a bit more difficult to summon up that spirit of gratitude. Just being honest, just being
Who are
honest.
you telling?
Right? So what do you do on those days or in those moments when you're not feeling grateful, or it's harder to access that spirit of thankfulness?
Girl, deep breathing and Reiki,
Mm, mhm, mhm,
right? Sometimes I think the advantage of being women of a certain age, right, is that you don't have to, and bearing in mind the Reiki precept, just for today, do not anger, which has the underlying meaning of do not rise to anger. You have the opportunity to not immediately react, not
Yes.
immediately respond. You have
Yes.
the opportunity to go away and think about it. You have the opportunity to go away and give yourself what you need so that you're in a better space when it is time to respond to a situation, and so that you can rediscover those feelings of gratitude.
Right.
Because,
Right.
the gratitude is kind of there. It's always there. It's foundational. Yes, there are times when you don't feel it as strongly,
Mhm.
but, I think you did it as well. Remember one time that we had a gratitude practice, and we would find several things
Yes.
to be grateful for every day. And even though I'm not doing it in the same way anymore, that is still a part of my life. You'll hear me speaking to myself, saying randomly thank you for things,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
is part of my life.
Mhm.
And so I know I'm always going to come back to that. Sometimes I need to give myself the space to
Mhm.
exhale.
Ba-dum-bum. And I think I know a way that you can do that. As my friends keep telling me, there is a book. There is a
Yes.
book that can
Yeah.
help you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, sometimes I just write lists because, like
Mhm.
I said, there's always something to be grateful for,
Mhm.
even when maybe you're not feeling that way. If you sit down and think, okay, in this moment, yes, these other things that I'm not so happy about might be happening, but I still have my family. I'm still
Mhm.
loved. I have health insurance. This is big on my mind now that I'm in the midst of this,
Yeah.
being on short-term disability, and
Yeah.
all of the things, and having surgery and all of that. My daddy said to me the other day, "You have really good insurance," because he's been picking up all of my
Yeah.
prescriptions for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like $1, sometimes even nothing at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So grateful for good insurance, health insurance. And so there is always something that you can be grateful for. And that is not, it's not being Pollyanna-ish. It's not saying that the things that you experience as challenging or difficult aren't real.
Mhm.
It is just saying these exist, but gratitude, things to be grateful for, also exist.
And we have the choice. I mean, all of us have been through things in our lives that have been challenging or difficult. Some of us are going through them now.
Mhm.
The world sometimes feels like a dumpster fire, but then there are still things, to be grateful for in spite of that. As you say, when I look at the stuff that's happening in the world, I am grateful for the communities I'm in who refuse to let that stuff pass unchallenged, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so, yeah, I'm grateful for the people in my world that want to see us thrive and have dedicated their lives to doing so,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Shout out to Yinka Yawola, among other people, right?
Yes, yes. Shout out to our mom and
Yes,
right,
yes.
our champion.
Shout out to all the people
Oh,
that step up to support us in big and small ways.
mhm.
Shout out to those people, right? So even in the midst of difficulty,
Mhm.
there are those things that you can be grateful for.
Yes, yes. I think about, my neighbors right now are looking after my plants. Back in the day,
Mhm.
they would, in a situation like this, have definitely, watched Kingy before when he was
Yes,
still with us.
yes,
My friends who have, called and checked in and sent gifts.
yes,
My,
yes.
my, my friend
My
Anta
friends who
sent,
ferry me around when the car breaks down,
right?
right?
Anta sent me a beautiful recovery, just a beautiful gift. There's a mug and a wrap
Yeah,
and all kinds of fabulousness in green, of
yeah,
course, because she knows me. Just all kinds of
yes,
stuff, you know.
yeah.
And with that, yes, am I not at the moment, but am I generally speaking in pain right now? Yes, because I just had major surgery.
Hmm.
So the pain happens, the discomfort happens, the having major surgery I don't wish on anybody. Grateful that I could have it,
Hmm.
but it is a major trauma to your body, mind, and spirit, and you need
Absolutely.
time to recover, from which to with which to recover from it.
Yes.
So those things happen, but yet there is a support system in place to help you thrive. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you mentioned before what I'm not sure how many of our followers, our millions and millions of followers.
Oh my gosh. Look what Linda just did, sis.
What did she
It
do?
might look at Linda's comment. It might be the moment.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Do you
Linda,
think it's the moment?
you are tapped in. You are tapped
Yes,
in,
man.
Linda. And for those of you who are listening and not seeing what's on screen, basically, our good friend Linda just made a comment. Shout out to both of you, reviving the introvert sisters energy here on LinkedIn Live. And as it so
So,
happens,
it so
Miss Linda,
happens.
as it so happens, the introvert sisters
It's
podcast
returning.
live is coming again next year. This actually is going to be a thing. So, Linda, you are tapped into the energy. I'm unsurprised by this. So, Sharon and I have been talking and about multiple things, ways to take over the world as usual.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to relaunch the Introvert Sisters podcast, but do it as a podcast, kind of like do it in this format. So
In
it'll
this
be on
format,
LinkedIn
live,
Live, right?
couple
Right,
times a
Sharon?
month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twice a month, every other week. It'll be LinkedIn Live, simulcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and then audio on what is it? Spotify, Apple
Mhm.
Podcasts, all the places. And the goal is to launch it in February of 2026, just in time for Black History Month. So, Linda,
Yep.
thank you for teeing that up. We didn't even have a plan.
Oh.
Listen, you're gonna have to get credit as producer on this one, Linda, because Sharon and I were like, well, when are we gonna say? We don't know. Well, here we are.
Here we are.
So that's something that we're both very excited about, very grateful for.
Yes.
That and our podcast, the original version, the OG version, is an Anthem Award-winning podcast. We won a Silver Anthem Award for it. We're extremely proud of
Yes.
everything that we have done with it before, and we're excited to bring more of that vibe and more of that energy to the world, and to be able to support introverts, especially. So yeah, we're excited. We're excited.
We are very, very excited.
So we don't know who this LinkedIn user says woohoo, and
So we
another
have
one says
two
great
LinkedIn
news.
users saying things. I know one of the LinkedIn users is Kristen. I don't know who the other one is, but
Right. Thank you.
thank you, thank you, thank you. We are very excited to bring this back to the world after what we're calling a strategic hiatus.
Did you like that copy?
I did like that copy. Lisa's been working on the new site, and yeah, the Introvert Sisters is coming back as a live show twice a month from February 2026. You heard it here first.
You heard it here
And
first.
thank you for the prompt, Linda.
Yes, Linda, thank you very much, because you teed that up absolutely perfectly. So, okay, so before we did a side quest about,
Anta, thank you.
is it
Thank
Anta?
you, Anta. Hi, Anta. Anta in the house.
Anta, we adore
Lovely.
you and we love you
Yes, we do. Thank you.
so much. And Anta, thank you so much for a beautiful gift that you sent. I absolutely love it. Even the box is green. Everything about it is green and beautiful and healing and lovely. And I love it and I love you. So thank you so much. So, sis, you had mentioned before we took our side quest into about the introvert sisters, you had mentioned Reiki, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people might not know that we are both second generation Reiki masters. We were both trained by our mom, who's a Reiki master as well.
Mhm.
So we speak the language of energy and vibration and so on.
Yeah.
And so, from that perspective, and I don't know if this is even a question that you can answer, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway, right? What is the energetic frequency of gratitude? Shall we move on?
Yes. Frequency of gratitude. Oh my gosh.
Okay, maybe when I get too creative.
I mean, I know that generally that we can wing it and we can talk about anything, but wow, what is the energetic frequency of gratitude?
So I would say
The energetic frequency of, I think One of my mentors always says the frequency of receiving is receiving. And I think the frequency of gratitude is also gratitude, right? It's that,
Yes.
the more gratitude you put out into the world, the more gratitude comes back to you, the more you live in a lovely mental space. And, sometimes you can carry that with you in spite of what else is going on in the
Yes. Yeah.
world,
Yeah. I think
So
it's a frequency of flow. It's a frequency of love.
yes.
It's a frequency of alignment.
But all of
Um,
that is very, very
mhm.
plugged into Reiki as an energy
Yes.
therapy. As
Yeah.
it's all about tapping into that universal energy and feeling the flow and feeling the connection among us all.
Mhm.
And okay, so maybe I could answer the question.
Yes. I'm like, I know my sister. You can do this.
Oh, Linda says her intuition is on point today. It so is.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Hmm. Yes. So when you, similarly to the question we spoke about before, when you feel that the how do you bring yourself back into alignment on those times when you feel some of it, some of the alignment, some of the flow, some of that good vibes and Reiki energy, how do you bring it back? How do you bring it back into alignment?
Well, I start with Reiki, really.
Yeah.
Giving myself a self-treatment, or, maybe not a full self-treatment, just, putting my hands on my solar plexus can be a very good way to do that. Um, Going to the beach, being immersed in
Yes.
the water is great.
Very healing.
And, doing something that brings you joy, which, that can be a lot of things.
Mhm.
Like, so I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they were talking about reading before bed and how it left their mind worrying and they couldn't relax. And I think, well, reading before bed is my relaxation,
Yes.
right? I read before bed every night, even if
Mhm.
it's only a couple of pages. Um, Actually, true thing, I had set myself, I thought I wasn't going to have much time for reading this year. So I set myself quite a low target, which I have now exceeded by about 50%. So I've read a couple hundred books already this year. But
I am so surprised. Sarcasm, sarcasm, sarcasm.
oh, gratitude and the frequency of love, there's science as
Yes.
well. Thank you,
Yes.
Linda.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Linda.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so it's just, you find things that bring you joy and you tap into that. And, the things that bring you joy help you tap into those feelings of gratitude, help you stay in alignment, help you be balanced, help you. And it's all that energy
Yeah.
flowing.
Yeah. Just for those who are listening versus watching, I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier about the frequency, right? And
Mhm.
so Linda, Dr. Linda,
Yes.
drop some knowledge as she so often does. And she says, Dr. David R. Hawkins, who developed a chart of consciousness in his book, Power versus Force. While this model isn't universally accepted in science, it serves as a useful framework. According to Hawkins's chart, gratitude resonates at around 450 hertz, very close to the frequency of love.
540 hertz.
Did I say 450?
You did.
Okay, it is resonating at a frequency of dyslexia right now. Sorry. So, according to Hawkins's chart, gratitude resonates at around 540 hertz, very close to the frequency of love. So, Linda, thanks for providing us with that information and context,
Yeah.
because it's okay to think it and feel it, but Sharon and I both love data, and so thanks for
Yes.
providing us with that.
Yes. And, people, if you have not yet subscribed to the Linda B. Learning newsletter,
Please do.
which deals with tech for good, among many other things, Run, Don't Walk. Linda, feel free to drop that in the chat.
Please, please, Linda,
It is
drop
one
it.
of my favorite reads every month. And I think, everybody should subscribe.
Mhm, mhm. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody should subscribe. They should subscribe to Linda's. They should subscribe to, I know another newsletter. Do you know of a newsletter, sis, that people?
Are you talking about Sharon's anti-racism newsletter by any chance?
I just might be.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
subscribe to Sharon's anti-racism newsletter as well.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so and by subscribe, I mean subscribe in any way you can. If you can bless her with a few paid subscriptions, please do so, especially this time of year.
Yes.
And I say this as, yes, I'm biased because I'm Sharon's sister, but I also, I'm a writer and a marketer in my own right, and an activist as well. And you all have no idea how hard Sharon works, and the dedication and focus, and Reiki and good vibes, frankly. And years of education, all her bachelor's and 2 master's degrees and various certificates and all these things, all of that goes into every single I nearly said episode. What edition?
Issue.
I was like,
Edition. Anything so.
I'm having one of those days. First I'm dyslexic, now I can't remember my but but actually that's how post surgery stress shows up a little bit as well. But
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
But yeah, but she puts a lot into it, is basically what I'm saying. And a lot of it is for free. And so everybody deserves, especially, nowadays as Black women are being pushed even further to the margins, which we didn't believe was possible, but here we are. So definitely support her. Also, any Black women and Black content creators in your circle, make sure, check in on them and, slide some coins their way. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because
Buy their books.
that too is part of the work. Yeah. What were you going to say, sis?
I said buy their books too.
Right. And speaking of, here is, I'm just putting up the link to Linda's newsletter. So it's lindabelearningnewsletter.beehive.com. So make sure you go and you check it out and subscribe. And then there's another LinkedIn user who says, wow, I like reading before bed to block the noise, but I think I've only managed 1 book per month. And I don't know who this is, but I just want to say, please do not gauge your reading threshold against Sharon. You will lose every time. So I'm just saying, and I'm her sister, right? And I'm just saying, don't measure yourself against that. It's a losing proposition. But 1 book per month is more than a lot of people.
Yes,
so
yes.
Be grateful for that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So somebody else says, Sarn, yay! Sarn is Sharon's anti-racism newsletter. I agree.
Yeah, I want
that sums it up. Sarn,
yes,
yay!
Thank you, Kristen. I'm gonna guess.
Yes.
Thank you, whoever it is.
Yes.
Because I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the subscribers. I'm grateful for the people that support the newsletter with actual cash, which, in an era where, where we're being pushed further to the margins, as you said, that becomes even more important and necessary. Right? So, yeah, deep gratitude.
So I have a question for you, because speaking of these difficult times that we're in, we're in the middle of the orange times, among other things, right? And as you said at the top of the show, it feels like if the world is a dumpster fire right now. The world, especially the United States, feels like everything is burning. So how, in the midst of that, Sharon, how in the midst of that, have you ever been in a situation where, let's say it's a difficult situation, I don't know, a difficult client, like we were saying, the world feels like it's on fire, and you have deliberately called on the energy of gratitude to shift, let's say, a specific situation, a specific relationship, to elevate the energy. Have you ever done that? Or can you think of any? Yeah. Can you give us an example?
Yeah. It's hard at this point. I remember before I had learned Reiki, looking at the people that have been doing it for 10 plus years and thinking, wow, but now that is me 19 years in.
Right.
And so there are certain things that I do without thinking about it when a challenging situation arises. And so for me to actually, there's no situation that can't be improved by adding a little Reiki to it.
Amen to that.
Right. And so there's no situation in my book that can't be improved by taking a beat and giving yourself time to think. Right. And so, yeah, it is. I can't think of anything specific, but I would say that it is part of how I live my life.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I just, I hit a situation. Sometimes, it's the same again. Sometimes it's time to step back and reflect. Sometimes it's time to treat yourself. Sometimes it's time to, intend that situation be healed, right? There are lots of ways that you can do that. Some of them draw on our Reiki practice, and some of them draw on, affirmations. Some of them draw on your gratitude practice. Some of them draw on, having lived life on the planet for a certain number of decades.
Yes.
And you don't quite know what's going to come into play at a given time.
No, I understand that. So for people and Black women especially who are likely feeling emotionally exhausted at this time, emotionally exhausted, possibly in danger, fearing for their livelihoods, in some cases even fearing for their lives. Do you have any advice for any words of support, any words of uplift that you can share?
All I can say, sis, and all the sisters out there, you're not imagining it. It is not all in your head. It is really happening. And find comfort in community where you can. I know, many of us are already doing that. Find comfort in spaces that are set up to support us. If you have the means to do so, step out for a while and visit a Black majority country where things are not perfect, but there's one less thing that you have to deal with.
Yes.
Right. I'm not saying that is a panacea, but I'm saying that it's one less thing that you have to deal with. I think that's what you have to do. I mean, there are no easy answers to this situation.
Agreed.
In mid orange times.
Yes.
In little tinges of orange seeping across the planet. Right. There are no easy solutions, but don't let anybody gaslight you about what it is that is going on, because it is going on. Right. And so this is where we do what we have always done, and we rely on the people in our communities that we can rely on, and find our comfort and strength there.
Yeah. And it's important to, the reality is that these times that we're living in can often feel overwhelming. That is the reality. Right? So we are not negating that. We are not denying that. And as Sharon said, don't let anybody gaslight you and tell you different. But two things can be true at once, and two realities can be held at the same time. And so it is possible to navigate this season with grace for yourself, with grace for others. It is absolutely possible, and should probably even be a focus. And the truth is, many of us might not be able to effect change on a, shall we say, on a global scale. Some of us can. Some of us can. Many of us can't. But we have influence and authority and agency over ourselves, and over our influence over our immediate circle. And so I think now is also a time to focus on community. There are people that you have in your life that are in your circle already, that you know you can trust, you know you can depend on, you know you can believe in, and that you know support you. And so lean into community. Lean into
Mhm.
community. You don't need 50,000 people to support you. You know 5, 10, 15
Yes.
max, right? Of people that you know that you can trust. And as Sharon alluded to very early in the show, we actually used to do a gratitude circle, because and again, it's not that bad things aren't happening, but in the midst of these things happening, what can you be grateful for? And that actually helps, focusing on 5, 10 things every day, every week, that you're grateful for, helps create the energy and the frequency of, like creates more unto itself.
Yes.
Like attracts like. And so you speak about gratitude, you think about gratitude, you create and attract more things and experiences to be grateful for. So
Yeah.
that's really what we're talking about the frequency of gratitude, the energy of gratitude, the practice of gratitude, to make it a verb. Make it a verb in your life,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
practice it, and it will help you, and it will help direct you toward the people and experiences and situations that you need to support you during these times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why, like I said before, the book,
The
Space to
book.
Exhale, the book, Space to Exhale. So every chapter ends with a section titled Appreciation, Express
Mhm.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Um, but I do have a question for you in relation to that. So we talk about expressing gratitude, and often it seems like we're talking about expressing gratitude for things exterior to ourselves, for people outside of ourselves. Um, right. So you know where I'm going. You know
I
where I'm
do. I
going.
do.
So what about expressing gratitude to and for yourself? Is that something that you do? Is that something
A
you
girl,
find
you
difficult?
know, we as we as Black women are not as good at doing that. It is true. That is not the way we are socialized. So that is something that we have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was interesting actually. I happened to attend a retreat day a couple weeks ago. And part of the Kundalini yoga session was a mantra, the only one that was in English, and it was "I am bountiful, beautiful, and blissful." To which
Mm.
I added brilliant, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I'm now trying to say that as a way of expressing gratitude for the inner gifts as
Mm-hmm.
well. I'm trying to say that daily. I've added it to my list of affirmations.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it, love
Yeah.
it, love it. So, I mean, sis, I'm just so, in such a space of grace right now. Even though all this stuff is going on in the world, I still feel positive,
Mhm.
and one of the things I want to talk about is the language. Like, we said, gratitude is a verb. Language is powerful, and it's important to keep speaking power,
Mm.
grace, and gratitude over yourself and your life. So, question for you is, are there any words of appreciation or gratitude or acknowledgement that someone has blessed you with, that you still remember, or not even just, words, experiences, anything, of gratitude that you
It's
still
funny,
remember?
actually. That is something that I'm always grateful for because every time, you're out there and, yes, the LinkedIn streets can be mean,
Mhm.
but, every now and then you get a really nice compliment from someone or you're in a space. The last one was funnily, which is related to this, is someone said, Sharon is such a high value podcast guest. It said, you will get more out of every experience than you had ever imagined. Right. And so that was just beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
And
it's true.
so
I can vouch. I can co-sign. five episodes in, I can co-sign.
So yes, it's people say things, for all, and you alluded to this earlier, and in terms of your community voice award, congratulations again, right? Is that it means that people are seeing you and hearing you and paying attention to what you're doing. And so every now and then, randomly in the middle of a comment thread or a conversation, someone will say something and you will suddenly realize, oh, I am actually making a difference, right? And yeah, deep gratitude for those moments.
Oh yeah. I remember asking, I don't remember all of the comments, but I remember asking once, I needed reviews for the
Mhm.
Great Exhale,
Mhm.
reviews and testimonials, and I put out an ask and was flooded with them, just member after member. The community is so soft and wonderful. It's delivering exactly what I wanted. It's our space. It's just for us. And
Right.
Lisa has made the space that we need. And I was like, wait, what? I wasn't
It was
expecting
like,
all this.
yes, it's
I
like
still
that
remember it.
happened when I do my sound reader survey. So
Mhm.
last year, I one of the questions is if you're happy if you appreciate the work. Oh, thank
Mhm.
you, Linda.
Mhm.
Thank you for saying that I'm an excellent podcast guest. One of the things I asked for was, were people happy to leave testimonials? I got 50 something last year. I got 40 something this year. So that's 90 testimonials about what people are getting out of the newsletter, and very few were replicate. There were a couple of people that left both years,
Right.
but really, I would say that, out of that lot, I probably have about 75 solid testimonials for the newsletter.
Right. Unique ones. Yeah, I mean, and that's amazing, sis. And similar to when I made a request, which I'm still making, by the way, for reviews for my for my book. But I did
So am I.
make a request.
So am I. 3 years in.
3 years in for you, and what, 7 months in for me or so.
Yes.
Yes. Reviews, people.
Yes. Reviews
Amazon,
with
Goodreads,
words, reviews with actual words, not a
with
star rating, an actual review with actual words.
right.
Can be 2 sentences, but it needs actual words.
Yes. So I'm still asking, but I did ask before for
Mhm.
reviews of Space to Exhale. And like you said, you've asked before for reviews of I'm Tired of Racism. And people have, I think you are over just over 100 reviews now.
I might be just over 100 ratings. I'm not yet
Ratings.
at 100 reviews.
Okay, so folks, that's your call to action. So help me turn up to 100 reviews.
Yeah.
And so I'm not nowhere near there, but my book just came out, so I'm at I don't know, 18. It's fine. But I am grateful for every one of those
Single one. Every
every
single
single
one.
one.
Oh,
And
yes.
listen, I go back, I reread them, I smile. My friend Lola Bakary, she did one with photos with her and her sister
Yeah.
holding the book.
Oh
It
my gosh,
just
that
fills my
was such
heart.
a moment when my book came out, like in the 6 months after. And I mean, I have had a couple up to this year. People would post photos of them holding the book, and that meant
Yes,
such a lot,
yes,
right? That meant such a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
And it means a lot, and it really, publishing, we've talked about this before in previous episodes, Writing While Black. So go back and watch and listen to those, right? It's a two-parter.
Mhm.
But publishing is not easy, and publishing while black and writing while black is even more difficult. And so the reviews and the accolades and the positive vibes and words of affirmation really, really help. And I am grateful for them. And they help you keep going on the hard
They
days.
do.
Yeah.
And I want to say the same thing about the newsletter testimonials, because in an era where there are people who have decided that their anti-racism is optional, or that they don't want to pay to support, when you get those testimonials from people who have appreciated the work, from people, I still have a handful, slightly more than I can count on the fingers of both hands, of people that have been there since year one, practically
Wow.
day one. I have a
Yes.
handful of those. I have a handful of day one people, and I have a handful of year one people. And, I'm so grateful for the consistency. The consistency means a lot too.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So something that we kind of alluded to before, we talked about, how we're relaunching the Introvert Sisters podcast, and something that it took quite a few people in our circle to learn or realize that, yes, we are actually blood sisters. We are sisters. We are sisters.
We are.
And as sisters, we have shared so many moments over the years of mutual appreciation, right? Spoken, unspoken, overt, implied. So how was that been like for you? My experience is that it feels like for us, sisterhood is a whether biological or chosen, because I have, my sisters from another mister as well. Is it like a container for gratitude? Like how do you, how do you see it?
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's warmth. It's energy. It is. Sometimes it's literal warmth. Listen, when I was living in London, I wasn't living in London yet. I was living in Southampton.
Southampton,
I had moved into a flat that I was sharing with somebody, and the heating wasn't working very well, and I didn't have very much money. And Lisa turned up with a pair of woolen socks, which I literally wore probably for the next 10 years till they actually fell apart. Right? Sometimes, sisterhood is like gratitude is very, very practical.
Yes. Right? Sisterhood is also a verb.
And appreciation is right, also a verb. Very, very practical.
Yeah.
And you need a thing. You get a thing. And we have done that for each other.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think you paid for my typing lessons when I got back from France, so I would be able to be gainfully employed. There's just so many ways, but
countless.
Yes, but why we both remember them is because there's so much gratitude for that person, you and me in this case, but so much gratitude for this person just showing up for you in exactly the way that you needed. Not in the way that made you feel better about yourself and blah, 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 blah. I was like, Sharon is cold. She needs to be warm. Let me get her some socks. You were like, Lisa's unemployed. She needs a job. Let me get her some training,
Yeah.
So, that's it. That is it, and so I'm grateful for our sisterhood. I'm grateful for our bond. And another question, I don't know if you can answer this, but you know me.
You ask it anyway.
Anyhow, so what is a way that you and I show appreciation for each other that you wish that more people practiced in their own relationships?
Now that's a good question, because I'm not in the habit of giving relationship advice, but
me neither.
Not
my business, but still, here we are.
I think, showing up, in supportive or practical ways. Sometimes showing up means a kind word at the right time, and sometimes it's a pair of warm socks or typing lessons, right? And so it really is about being tuned in, right? And paying attention, introvert strengths, shall I say, right?
Definitely.
Right? Being tuned in and paying attention. And then moving from there, which, I don't think that, that is good relationship advice for any relationship.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
You didn't pay attention. I don't know that
words of affirmation.
I could add more than that.
Yeah, no, but you did great. You did great. Words of affirmation and acts of service.
Yeah.
Right? The love languages. And so as I mentioned.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Love languages. I was doing, as you know, I've got a new series of things related to introversion, and we talked a little bit about the love languages.
Yes.
Actually, one of which was alone time, in fact. Right. So I had a masterclass on introversion last week, and so I picked a few of the love languages that we had done in our episode, and we and talked about them. So
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes. Speaking of alone time being a love language for introverts. So this episode, like I said, we are now 2 days before Thanksgiving, and
Mhm.
families are descending upon one another. The introverts are freaking tweaking out because they're like, how am I going to survive? It's like it's for many people, like this time of year, it's just family dynamics, food, frustration, fatigue, friction, all the things.
Oh yeah.
So
What
what
do you do?
what do you do? What do you
What
do
do you
as
do?
a
Well, if you can
yes?
afford it, stay in a hotel so you have your own space to go to.
Listen, and speaking about be grateful and be grateful for that hotel.
And be very grateful for that hotel. You know, get acquainted with the distance to the bathroom so you can hide.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Carry your warm clothes so that you can go out for a walk.
Oh, good idea. Right. Better yet, drive yourself so you can go out for a
So you
drive
can
and
go out
keep
for a
going
drive.
home. Did I say that out loud? No, I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
No. There's something about walking to shift the overwhelm more than
Yes,
driving.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
why.
Because you have
That's
to like
actually why I
come back.
suggest the walk. The movement. The movement
Yes. No,
works
no,
for that.
you're 100%,
Right.
100%
So
right.
that's just 3 tips. I mean, there are lots more, but
Mhm.
that is and don't be afraid to say, I don't want to talk about that right now. To pause, to remove yourself,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because there are
Move
all kinds
yourself
of
before there's a scene of a crime to be removed from,
yes. It is
right?
not. It is not a good holiday if somebody has to come and bail you out.
No. unless it's a movie. If it's
Unless it's
real life, we do
yeah.
not recommend.
So no,
Bail should
definitely,
not be a part.
definitely, reinforce those introvert boundaries.
Mhm, mhm.
You know.
For sure, for sure. So I know that like you're in Barbados, I am in the US. And of course, the US is very much about Thanksgiving. Barbados less so because culturally that's not how we grew up. But some of it has seeped.
Yeah, but yes, and we have Independence Day coming up at the end of this week. They usually fall around the same time.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so yeah,
So happy Independence, happy early
happy
Independence to
Thanksgiving.
Barbados, and happy. Thank you. Um, so if you had to describe it, what would a truly gratitude-centered holiday season, because this is where we are now. We're in the holiday season. It's Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, all the different holidays, right? Hanukkah, what does a truly gratitude-centered holiday season look like for you?
I think for me,
Mm-hmm,
because I try to be in an attitude of gratitude all the time,
mm-hmm.
holidays are not different.
I love that answer. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. So moving on. So as we begin to wrap up, we're a little bit over time. Well, no, actually, we still have a few
No,
more minutes.
we knew this was going to run long, so we scheduled
Yes,
it long this time because
yes.
we have never been able to do a podcast episode together and get it done within the 30 minutes or 40
No, or an
minutes
hour. Yeah.
or an hour.
Whatever the time is, we
Whatever the
tend to
time
go.
is, we usually overrun. And I'm
Exactly.
grateful for all of you who have stuck with us so far.
Yes, yes, yes. It's so nice seeing everybody like in the comments and
Yes, old friends and
interacting,
new in the comments. Lovely to see you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, all right, as we begin to wrap up, however, the show is all about finding space to exhale. So, what does finding space to exhale look like for you at this stage? Like you're balancing activism, writing, Reiki, your focus on introversion, all of the things. So, how do you find space to exhale?
Beach,
Mm-hmm.
reading, and quiet time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Beaches can be quiet time, although I usually go with a couple of friends, but not too many, right?
Right,
Just being in
right.
the water.
Yes.
Reading is a solitary activity, so that is
Mm-hmm.
also alone time. But sometimes it's just about, just taking a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking a moment to, ground yourself, be in the moment, and feel that appreciation. It is hard. It is hard not to feel great gratitude every day when you live in Barbados,
This is true.
right? I
You just
mean,
have to like look out your window and there's
it
palm
is
trees
sunny,
and blue
it is
skies.
warm, there
Yes.
are palm trees, there are beaches. Most of the time the weather is fine. I don't always feel grateful for the, um, biblical deluges which bring flooding. I don't always feel, but the plants need the water. So, you know, so yes. Um, yeah, what about you, sis? What about you? How would you answer that, your own question?
Um, really focusing, which I need more practice at, believe it or not, really focusing at this specific time on my recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and resting. And I know you, daddy, and mommy have all been keeping me in line, because I get very hyper focused on something and then I just like want to do it or finish it, whatever it happens to be. But I have to, as an act of self-care and self-love, allow my body to heal.
You do.
And so it is, the other day I t- I napped. I don't know, it was like 4 hours, like randomly in the middle of the day, and I
Mm-hmm.
just fell asleep.
Yeah.
I was like, I needed to rest, and so
Yeah.
that was taking some space to exhale, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
doing some reading and allowing my mind to do something other than be on social media. Right? Social media still exists, but I'm sure you understand,
Oh yeah.
right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So.
I in February when I went to Panama, I
Mhm.
turned off all notifications, and the only thing I checked was WhatsApp because, that's how
That's where your
uh,
people were.
that's where my people are.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Mhm.
so everything else was off,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
blissful.
Girl, isn't it the
And to
best?
tell you the truth, most things have not come back on.
I think last episode, the one before this, Alexis challenged people to delete the apps. Delete
Mm,
as many as you possibly can. And people like freaked out. But that can give you
actually,
space
that
to
is a really
exhale.
good idea.
It's a great idea. Because when you go through your, I don't know, however many apps you have, you realize, wait, I only actually use 5, maybe 10 of these
Mhm.
on a consistent basis.
And some of them can be used on the desktop. Is
Yeah.
it going to be that terrible if
Hmm.
you don't reply to something till the next day?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, this is how we live most of our lives, right?
Yeah. Let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Let it be what it is. And give yourself that space. So as we're gonna close the conversation soon, sis, and of course I have to say thanks again for the fifth time.
Happy to be here. Happy to be
For the
here.
fifth time for being on the show and being such a supporter and strategist as well. I have to say, you know. Um, but yes, so we mentioned some of it at the top of the show, but let's close it again. What are you most grateful for right now? Here today, like 2, 3 things.
Here today, I am grateful for family.
Mm-hmm,
You, Stephen, my daughter, our mother,
mm-hmm,
all the people in our family,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I am grateful that my book that was published 3 years ago won an award this year, right? I am grateful for the opportunity to serve my fellow introverts with some new things.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
am grateful to be living in a beautiful tropical paradise.
Mm.
Paradise, not quite paradise, but, close enough.
Close enough. Paradise for
Yes,
most people. Yeah, yeah,
paradise for most people.
yeah.
So yeah, what about you?
Like you said, very, very grateful. And this is in no particular order. Very grateful that my debut book is doing so well and is a two-time award winner and a two-time finalist in major awards. Very, very grateful for that. Grateful to be here with part of my family at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Daddy and Anne are here. Carolyn, our stepsister, is coming in a couple of days, and we're going to have a nice, warm but quiet Thanksgiving together, and it's going to be wonderful. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Just the warmth being enfolded by family. Grateful for WhatsApp and video calls. Because I've been able to be in touch with all my people, see their faces. We've been able to rest our eyes on each other and confirm, oh, okay, my people are okay, right?
Yeah.
Very grateful for that. Grateful for this opportunity to rest and heal. And grateful for suburbia, because I like this might sound weird, but it's so I can look out the window, there's grass, there's little kids, getting on the school bus in the morning, and there's lawns and nature, but in a controlled way, right? No weird Australian type Australian level critters. So it's just beautiful and relaxing. The weather in general has been good. Grateful for all those things, and grateful for my podcast and every single guest, and that is here. Like great. Listen, I'm grateful.
Can I add one more thing in, because you've posted about this a couple of times this year? Grateful for the lineage and the legacy.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Our dad, a 3-time author, me, a 2-time author, you a 1-time author. That book family. Very grateful
for that.
Very grateful for having grown up in an environment that valued books and learning and excellence, and that has directly led to us being the people that we are today.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great. And every now and then Daddy is sitting down and I are sitting down at breakfast, and we sometimes talk about writing and so on. And Anne has written a lot too, actually. She shared with me about one book written on her own, and about 4 or 5 others to which she's contributed. So just like having all of this writing in the family, and like you said, having the lineage and the legacy, and fulfilling expectations, not even expectations, that's not the right word, but fulfilling sort of what was encoded in our DNA, really.
Yes.
Right. And fulfilling it well, to be honest.
And as you said, and then on the other side, in addition to that legacy, we have the Reiki lineage. Having our mother as our Reiki master is a double blessing that not many people get to enjoy.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It is the absolute best. Yes.
So yes, I want to add both those things to my gratitude list.
Absolutely. Sure. I agree. I agree with them. And yes, our mom listens to every episode. So hi, Mama Bear. we know you're there, and we love you and thank you. And just so much warmth in my heart. And so I'm happy that this is, on this day, this week, in this moment, this is the last episode of season 1 of Space Exhale, the podcast, and it feels like a wonderful, wonderful moment, and I'm just grateful.
Thank you, Anta. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that.
Anta says you two can be proud of yourselves, because it isn't easy to live up to our parents' legacy, and you all have honored that well. Keep it up. It's a beautiful thing to see that Reiki and writer's family tree is everything. Bravo. Thank you so much. And so with that, folks, thank you. Thank you for joining us on Space to Exhale, the podcast. Thank you for making this final episode of the podcast season 1, an epic one. And Mommy is here in the comment. She says, I'm so proud of both of you. Congratulations. Thanks so much, Mama Bear. And so, yes, that's it. What better way to end it, right? This is it, with a comment from Mama. So this is it. This is what it's all about. So tune in every Tuesday once the new season starts, right? Tune in every Tuesday live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook to catch the vibes. And if you can't make the live show, definitely subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and YouTube to catch the replay. And it's available, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure you go rate it and leave a review. Rate it on Apple. Rate it on Spotify, do all the things. And if you want to dive deeper into what Sharon and I discussed today, make sure that you're following us both on LinkedIn. Go into follow Sharon online, SharonHH.com. Do I have that right, Sharon?
Yeah.
Right. And mine is spacetoexhalebook.com. Definitely go and buy both our books. Sharon's is I'm Tired of Racism, and mine is Space to Exhale. And so that's it, folks. Goodbye for now. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Happy Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all the things.
Happy Independence.
Happy Independence. Happy Independence. And remember that you are worthy of rest, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of having time and space to exhale. Goodbye, and we'll see you next season. Bye.
Bye.